Welcome, JP. Welcome, everybody else. We're here at Star Wars CCG. Graded update for April 2026. JP, good to have you as always. Welcome back. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about, right?
That's right.
Not only for this month, but for next month and some other contest things going on. We're going to talk about all things graded around the group, the grading companies, some other news around the horn. So let's get right into it. As per usual, we start with our contest for the prior month. So that was in March. We did Japanese non-foils. So we had a decent showing, right? A few regular celebrities around the horn. JP, why don't you kick us off with our low ball category winner here?
Yeah, well, it's always my favorite category. I think that's the category I always submit to. But I love just seeing everybody's cards and how they showcase. Always has a special place in my heart. So we actually had a few submissions, low ball. They were great, but I'm telling you, Paul Hubbard took it this month. He found some really good low balls and something to take note. So he submitted PSA 4 Ord Mantell, which is Hoth card, Japanese, of course, and PSA 6 Infantry Mine. I just want to make a note that of all the cards that were submitted, we had like multiple or other Mantell. Who's grading Ord Mantell Japanese Hoth? There were multiples this month, so I thought that's pretty interesting. And I have some myself too, so I don't know why there's such a large volume of that card. But Paul Hubbard, Scimitar 2 from Death Star 2.
That is right. We have a PSA 8 Scimitar 2. So congrats, Paul. We'll send that your way.
Congratulations.
For unique, we had a few entries there, but ultimately Jeremy Christoffel had kind of a lower population there with an unusual pairing of Darkside Hoth Defensive Perimeter Japanese population 2 and a Death Star Tractor Beam Japanese population 4. Also somewhat unusual.
Yeah. So he had both. Yeah, so he had one from Hoth and one from A New Hope, which is a good mix.
That's right. That one's from A New Hope. Yeah. So congrats, Jeremy, for that. You will be getting a CGC slab. We have surprise. I can't really see it, but we have this for you, a Cloud City Rare. So we'll be sending that your way. And then JP, of course, our top.
You bet. So always the favorites of everybody. Everybody wants to have the top of the best. So this month it goes to Brian Emery for his PSA 10 Biggs and PSA 10 Red 3 match. So you got Biggs and his ship. So good job to Brian. It was a great mix. Super population, a good showing, good submission.
Yeah,
unusual this month.
Awesome.
Our two ungraded Hoth cards. They're really awesome. So congratulations, Brian.
So we got some Japanese Hoth cards we'll be sending your way, B. Emery. So keep your mailbox open for that one. And for upcoming contests, right? So we have two things we'd like to do. We'll have our regular contest for May will be capital class starships. This is per the group vote. So this got one of the higher votes. And June will be anything Boba Fett. Anything Boba Fett. Apparently that's really popular. So we're going to do that for June. Now, we also want to have a slightly different contest. So JP, can you elaborate on what this other contest we will do?
Yep. And we're going to keep in the loop. We're also going to post in the group itself. But if you're watching this, you may get this before the post comes out in the group, is we want to know your interesting stories on how you obtained some of your graded cards. We're going to allow you to give one story and then story of how you obtained your card. We're gonna judge the stories, and then we're gonna give out a really prize. That's what we call one of our big prizes. So I'm not sure. Do we want to share what the prize is, or we just want to just kind of
share what the prize is? We have this exquisite, elite, unique, and I'm going to take off my background so we can share it because it's just that good. It is a Dark Saber Star Wars CCG Players Committee custom box. Oh my gosh, it's so crisp and white and clean in here. It's such a great box that you might want to just display the box with nothing in it. It's just that amazing. I mean, look at that. Look at that, people.
Great.
That's a Darksaber, right? You don't have one. I don't have one, but you can.
Yeah.
So submit to this contest, and you might be the lucky winner of this beautiful box.
So more to come on that. Beautiful sheen, beautiful gloss. Awesome for decorating. If you're the kind of person that loves to decorate just with Star Wars CCG products like me, that's way up there. So be looking for that.
Yeah, so those are the upcoming contests. And of course, we'd like to have other large contest prize giveaways in the future. So perhaps we'll put a poll, or if somebody has some good ideas on what we can do for that. But again, May the 5th, right? Or May the 4th be with you, right? Revenge of the 5th. Can't keep track of these. And I know there's other numbers too, but yeah. So May's a good, big month. And now let's move on to the Facebook group update. So graded updates from your side, JP.
Yeah. So still continued. We've got people that actually answer the 2 questions that is required to get in the group, but I've had approved a whole bunch of them this month. People just don't want to answer the 2 simple questions, but so group growth is pretty good. We've already kind of discussed a little bit about the poll out. We're going to engagement from the group. We like when you guys participate, and we want to make sure that the group is growing and participating in things that you guys want to see and do. So more to come on prizes and more to come on engagement. So that ended up being a super success. It's seen already. I just want to make a quick mention on the state of the market that's come out. Be sure and run through that. Every quarter's always got some great information. We're going to touch just a little bit on the end of this stream. So that's always good.
On Board Matt's channel.
Yeah,
right?
on Board Matt, right. So
Board
Matt does a great job. He's always engaged in our group. He's always got some great insights, and he always runs some other videos as well too, that he ran through every expansion that there was for Star Wars CCG and talked about each card and its playability and some of the key features and the rares and all the interesting things about each expansion. So you can run through that. It's really good. I've watched many of them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely follow him. He does some parallel sort of video work to this field and brings back a lot to the community. So if you're not already following, then you need to follow him.
And what I appreciate about Matt is that he's just not an echo chamber. Like sometimes, we're doing the same hobby, the same things, we're flipping, we're grading and all that stuff. He'll shoot you straight on a lot of stuff that what works, what doesn't, and the things he sees from his seat. He's got some great insight and some great opinions. I really appreciate what Matt does. So he gives an outside perspective to inside hobby. Just
Absolutely.
wanted to key into that. He's always got a different take on it, and he's always got some great commentary. So thank you, Matt, for all that you do. Couple little fun things too I wanted to kind of bring to everyone's attention is that we're always so focused on making sales, like maybe within the group. I know we trade within the group, and it seemed like 99 or more percentage of all of our sales is eBay. It's just the biggest auction site that's very successful. You're going to get a lot of views, but here lately I've been kind of watching an auction house called Heritage Auctions. And there's been some CCG cards that have been on it, and I've actually bid on a few, but I got outbid immediately. But we've got one of our admins, one of our group experts, Cam, has got some stuff posted, and there's just one I wanted to point out. It's a 1977 Star Wars Blue Ben Kenobi rookie. It's a PSA 10. It's current bid right now is at $11,500, expected to exceed $14,000. So if you're interested in just watching some really cool auctions going down, out for Star Wars CCG in Heritage Auctions, if you want to take a chance and throw in stuff, it's just been like all month has been like Darth Maul up here, down there, all over the place. So just wanted to get out there. There's other places that we can buy, sell, and keep track of.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, I mean, Heritage I became privy to it like a decade ago in terms of like, this is the premier auction house when you're looking for very rare items, unusual items, and items that could potentially be of very high value. Like collectors that are serious generally go to Heritage.
Right.
Now they've been in the art world. They've done currency, coins, comics. They've been now getting into like Pokemon and other current TCGs. They can't ignore the fact that, you know, non-sports card collecting has like exceeded the stock market, and younger collectors are getting into these fields. So naturally, the auction houses are evolving with the collector market too. And it's interesting to see, you know, Star Wars products on there, but very high-end Star Wars products. I mean, some of the like stuff in the movies might be either on Golden, right? But Heritage is also like right there too. So when I'm looking for something that's like incredibly unusual, or unique, or rare, like it goes beyond eBay. Like eBay is going to be like, you know, a step beyond trying to go to Target or Walmart and find what you're looking for. Like you're just not going to find it, right? eBay's going to have the stuff in the garage, but serious collectors generally put stuff up on Heritage. And I get like letters in the mail, like when you're ready to unload your collection, like bring it to us, you know, because they want to flagship promote it, and they'll put it in like a really nice magazine, and like they send it out to like targeted collectors. Like I've spent enough money like there that like you get on this sort of like list of like target market people where they have like your own, you know, agent that's looking for stuff. You can put in wish lists for stuff. So if somebody is looking for, such as a top graded tier Star Wars rare collectible, you can get like email notified like when that comes up, and they give you long stretch windows. You can bid long before the actual live auction happens, but you could bid on the live auction stuff. It's just like it's a slightly different way of bidding, but I do have a bunch of stuff on the wish list there that I can sit on. So I find it really interesting, like when we see Star Wars CCG stuff, because they do have regular auctions. You can put lower valuable stuff there, but they still take a decent commission. But they call out what you're getting and what you have to pay and the fees and stuff up front, so you can kind of see it. Like, you know, it's transparent. It's just a little different than eBay. I think we can all agree that like if we don't have to use eBay as a group, I mean, let's not. Like,
yeah.
13% fees plus shipping plus taxes. It's like, it's just brutal. You know, like we can trade stuff, and that's part of the reason this trade group had originally came through. And that's why when I posted those Japanese Premier slabs, I was looking for trades first. Yes, I could put a sale price and do that if those don't move. But if there's anybody who wants to trade stuff, or you got something that we can mutually beneficially do that, like let's do that. Like let's all save each other some money here, because we don't need to be selling it just to rebuy cards somewhere else.
Right.
Like it's just
good point.
Let's try and mutually win on our collective, you know, collecting goals, right? So we can all save a little bit, because man, grading is expensive. So
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways,
I won't dive into that yet, but that's my 2 cents on
okay.
my heritage. So I'll let you continue.
I just got 2 more quick points. So we did an admin group cleanup for a lot of our different tools that run the group page. So we've cleaned up all the pending posts and all the spams, and so we're up to date now. And I do apologize that some of it is kind of very tedious, and it daily, you know, maintenance and daily monitoring. So if you had a post out there that never got posted, and I know you're not a scammer, I apologize if we missed it or it's gone like a week later, things like that. So it's all cleaned up and up to date now, and we'll keep a closer eye on it. But
and we've had no shenanigans recently, right? So
yep,
no shenanigans, right?
Yeah. No shenanigans, and that's always a good point. Is sometimes, you know, we get shenanigans, and they're usually gone pretty quick. We get rid of them, and then there's kind of, we're not sure. We had Arena Club show up a couple months ago, if you guys remember, and their normal, you know, eye-catching, you know, attention getter is always, hey, I got $100,000 to spend. Who wants to sell something? Now that works great in a lot of card groups, but they just don't understand our culture and what we're growing in our environment. So I talked to the gentleman, and he's just hanging back, and he's still in our group and still just kind of watching and understanding, and maybe he'll be the guy that's the bridge between kind of the collecting club. But we'll see how that all goes. And then finally, I just want to make a quick mention. There was a big thing about Andy Talaga selling his collection, and a lot of people that's in our group buy a lot of his stuff and now are the new owners, and what I always refer to or consider like museum pieces for the industry. And he had a lot of reflection gold cards, which are one of ones. Every single card is one of one and extremely rare. They're all prototypes. No grading company will grade them because they're kind of like in paper form. They're not really on card stock. But there's all kinds of collectors in our group that got one-of-a-kind things. And in fact, this little poster here over my right shoulder here, Rebel Leaders Are Advancing, of the Y-Wing, is a very rare poster. They're extremely hard to get, and I finally my entire poster banner collection from Andy. So I appreciate it. And so want to make mention, there may still be some stuff out there, but it needs to be just kind of, out there that Andy's one of the best we've got in our group, one of the high collectors, and still an expert. So that's all I want to say. Group updates.
Yeah, I know. It's like the end of an era for Mr. Andy, but I know he still dabbles and plays the game online. Mm-hmm. I can understand if you want to move on from physical product and, realign your interest elsewhere. I think he wanted to move into Magic again.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Magic other than it's hella confusing, and the barrier to entry seems infinitely high. So that's not my world. I didn't grow up with Magic myself. So best of luck to you, Andy, and your endeavors. Yeah, so I guess I can go talk a little bit about, or rant about, I suppose, grading companies, highlights, and trends. So I just want to run through some interesting kind of data that we've from last month. So PSA itself, and this is as a whole, right? So PSA continues to sort of dominate here. No surprise, right? They've graded about 90,000 to 100,000 cards or more per day in March 2026. And sometimes they would grade more in a day than the rest of the market combined. However, prices have increased across the board, right? PSA in February moved the value bulk from $21.99 to $24.99. This was an attempt to manage their massive backlog volumes, which their turnaround time has definitely, I would say, doubled.
It's been pushed out big time.
Probably close to doubled. It's really bad. And I had gotten some submissions back, right? I still have one in assembly right now that I think I submitted in November or October. Might have been the end of October. It's still in assembly. I don't know. Every step seems to take forever. So I did submit one more recently that just arrived maybe in the last week, and those won't be done until August, maybe. So it says, but realistically, I might not see it until October or November. So that is something to keep in mind. It's kind of like if you submit something now, you might not see it till almost next year, which is kind of wild. Tag is at $19 per card. If you don't do the sort of that QR code where you can zoom in, but you can do 22 a card with the QR code and a population report of that card, of how high it's graded, compared to other people submissions. And then CGC is at $17 a card with a 500 value cap, but you have to have a 25 cards submitted minimum, or you can do $20 a card up to a $1,000 maximum value. So across the board, I mean, that's just freaking brutal. That's so much money, at a time where everyone's already getting squeezed on everything else. It really makes, I think if CGC and Tag manage to keep a relative value and manage to hold their prices down a little bit more, I think they will continue to see more growth because people are really annoyed at PSA for playing the games, raising the prices, longer turnaround time. The value proposition for them continues to drop, and get like less and less appealing. Now, it's not saying it's gone. I'm not saying it's going away, but in my mind, I'm seeing the rise of Tag throughout like the Pokemon community. They're really embracing it, and CGC is quite a dime a dozen. I mean, CGC has solidified themselves as the number 2 grader, like in this race, right? They have 57% year-over-year growth as of February 26, and they had a 41% surge in late March, largely thanks to a Fanatics partnership. So they're not going anywhere, right? They're gaining traction. Like people are turning around, and I will say their turnaround times are closer to like 20, 30 days, right? Maybe 45 days. That's like right. A lot more manageable and swallow a pill to swallow, frankly, than being like, if I submit this card, I don't see it for months in a market that could be changing, like a sports cards market, like submitting something and not seeing it for 6 months. That card could be worth dirt or it could be worth, a lot. Like, who knows, right? Like, is that a gamble you want to take? You're already gambling on the card itself. So it's like, how much more?
You missed the whole season. The whole point was to have the card back.
You could absolutely miss the whole season.
Yeah,
so like you get a new set out. You're like waiting for the World Series to see if your guy is good.
Right.
All right.
You got to do it like a season ahead. Like right now, we're getting into baseball, but football doesn't start for another 5-6 months.
Yeah,
so you get your football stuff going now to be ready for the beginning. But
submit nothing but rookie cards, I guess, and hope that they do well. SGC and Beckett, so their volume has continued to decline. They're roughly negative 72% year over year in February. Now, SGC was purchased by collectors in 2024, and Beckett was purchased towards the end of 2025. So they're still together, but I mean, it's no secret that they're just not getting the chunk of the market I think they used to be getting. Tag, right, is showing the fastest growth of all the grading companies, 140% year over year increase in February over 26. Now, granted, that is a much smaller amount, right? So we can talk about percentages, but at the end of the day, what was the volume snapshot? So PSA, like I said, 97, 99,000 cards a day. CGC, 23 to 33,000 per day. Beckett, 1,800, 4,000 a day. SGC, 1,800 a day. And Tag, 1,500 to 1,800 a day. But continuing to rocket climb. It wouldn't surprise me by the end of the year that Tag is like a clear number 3. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of social media following and a lot of people hyped about it, especially if they continue to innovate in the space.
Well, agreed. And really, Pokemon drives a lot of that industry too. So as long as they've got those volumes of Pokemon coming in, it's absolutely insane that, they know their volumes are going to stay high quickly. So,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we get asked like, well, who do you submit to and why, right? PSA, maximum liquidity on modern cards. CGC on speed price of TCG and modern. SGC for fast, cheaper vintage grading, right?
Perfect. Yep.
Tag, if you kind of really want to get a lot of transparency in your card, right? You get those scans, you can see the deep like marks where they did it and exactly what they saw. So, call it what you may. None of them are perfect. Sure, they all have some room to improve, but what is it that you're looking for? What are you submitting? What are you trying to do with your collection should dictate kind of where you're going. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents of what I gathered on these grading companies. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Frankly, I still have a stack of cards to send in, but part of me is like, well, I'm so close to finishing my Japanese premiere set. I think I'll just look at all the holes I'm missing, just send in the missing cards, and I don't know, maybe just chill for a bit, see kind of how this plays out a little bit more. Because, man, $25 a card for like a common that I might not, that I might not get a good grade on. It's just brutal.
I know. It's great.
I can't give it away. I can't even give it
yourself in such a crazy position. A lot of people are doing this. You want to get on the registry set and just kind of keep it like logged. And there's a little bit of competition of who's got the best sets. PSA recognizes you. They send out awards of who's top in that particular registry set. And there's a little part of you that just wants it complete. And I've done multiple sets. As you get to the point where you're down to the last 5 or 10, and it's like you're running different sets, you're running different cards, and then I'm turning in through each card so that one of them comes back my minimum 9 mint standard. 2 of them may be 7, and one may be, and the other one, they say it's trimmed. They always come back with something ridiculous around trimming Star Wars common cards to get that 9 plus. So it's kind of a nightmare because it could run you $100 per card if you're doing it at a time just to catch it. Because if you send one in and you're at, I can't take that risk. I want it done, and so I can put it behind me. But yeah, if you're a registry set guy like you and I, it's rough.
Yeah, it is rough. And like, really, if you're submitting, from what I understand, it's better practice for the likelihood of getting a good grade to only submit 1 of each card. However, I understand the logic of being, well, I only want to do this once, so I'm going to send in 3, 4, 5 of the same card. But inevitably, they're going to compare those cards against each other. So like the likelihood of them all getting the same grade is like next to none, because they're going to be like, well, this card looks better than this card, so I got to give it a better grade. So that means I must pull this one down, or I must or boost this one up. So you do run that risk of getting that. But at the end of the day, if you really only want 1, and it is what it is, like, might do it. The other benefit is the last submission I had gotten back, the majority of those were upgrade gambles of like hoping to get something better. So if I didn't, or it was the same, then I had it for trade or for sale. If I only do 1 of each and it's something new, then I'm stuck with that the way it is, or choose to get rid of it. Probably not, like I'll probably just hold on to it. So again, what is it that you're trying to do? What is your end goal state here? I don't really want to start any new registry sets right now, unless I have something that's already
I will add to that. I'll add to that is that I just recently got a CGC card in the mail. I didn't have any, and so I started looking at it, and so it has like a little, like a QR code on it, and so I picked it up and just scanned it, and it took me to that card, and it says, do you want to add that to your registry set? And I'm like, oh, CGC also does registry sets. I didn't know that. So
fun facts.
Yeah, so if you're the registry set kind of guy, you like collecting the whole set and want them all graded, CGC may be the future.
Well, on that lovely note, again, love to hear from everybody else here. Thank you, JP. This has been a good update, and hope you guys participate in the contests, and we'll chat in a month.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks.